Gregg Parker is a man with a mission. He's creating Chicago's first blues museum.
Even though it's called a blues museum, we deal with jazz, gospel, soul. You can see anybody from Duke Ellington and Betsy Smith to the Temptations to James Brown in his prime.
That and more in this edition of Art Beat Chicago.
I played classical guitar, got a scholarship, and studied for about a year with Segovia. And so I had a promising career in that, and seen Jimi Hendrix on TV, and I didn't look back then, you know, that's what I want to do. Had the fortune to work with Ringo Starr. In fact, he was actually recorded on my album in the Bahamas. Then I had a band on CBS. I signed a deal in 1979 for a lot of money with CBS, and we toured then with Journey and Cheap Trick, Molly Hatchet, Ted Nugent. When I came back from Europe to Chicago, I hadn't lived here 17 years. I thought, well, this is a city that's known for the blues. It's a mystery to me that they don't have a blues museum. How come they have they got a museum for everything? Mid-June, we're going to open up to the public. Even though it's called a blues museum, we deal with jazz, gospel, soul. It's basically a cultural center. It all comes from somewhere, and the mission with the Blues Museum is to make sure they know who did what. With all of our exhibits, you're able to come and see footage of these performers. But you can see anybody from Duke Ellington and Betsy Smith to the Temptations to James Brown in his prime.
What this does is, I think, puts it into focus, puts everything into focus, brings to bear what has been done, puts it on film, puts it on records, puts it in photography, and it graphically lets American people know the accomplishments of some of the wonderful, great blues, jazz, and mainstream musicians.
What I have here is one of Harlan Wolf's original guitars that he used in the session, and this is part of the collection. It had these big, thick strings on them, which I couldn't possibly bend, called Black Diamonds, that came from Sears and Roebuck.
Now I got me another woman, shake like jello.
We buy a lot of archives, and a lot of stuff is being donated now, you know. So a lot of people, we have a lot of support from the artists themselves. At this 17th annual Blues Fest, we decided to do a salute to Curtis Mayfield. If you talk about Chicago music, it's Curtis Mayfield. We're doing the first official record roll exhibit, and we've got, I would say, over 1,000 photographs in this exhibit.
I joined the staff of Chess Records in June 1964. Wolf, well, first of all, he's a real cantankerous guy. And he don't want you messing around with him, you know. Don't F with me, I'm Wolf. And say, hey, boy, what you talking about? You know, I'm the Wolf. So that's basically his image, but he was a nice guy.
I was hired when I was 18 years old. I would leave high school and go straight to a record roll on Michigan Avenue, and as a copyist and a musician. As a kid, I could go and walk down the street and hear Muddy Waters appearing at one of the local cafes or taverns. My grandfather played blues piano, and so it's been instilled in me all my life.
You're getting a sneak preview at the Chicago Blues Museum All-Star Band. We've invited Ruby Andrews, who's someone who I got my career started with. The first person ever took me on the road, right?
When he came back from Germany, he got in touch with me, and it's been going on since. He's been doing this thing for a while now, you know, and I'm glad to see that it's flourishing.
Chicago's got the largest free blues fest in the world. And it's given me an opportunity this year to be out at the festival. With the band, which I love, you see the Chicago Blues Museum playing at the Chicago Blues Festival. That's marketing. That's smart. We deserve to be there, and so do a lot of other Chicago groups.
It's just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, it's just beginning. This has a great possibilities to grow into something really big.
Everybody come out to the Blues Fest and enjoy themselves, and make sure you stop by and see the Record Roll and the Blues Foundation exhibits, as well as enjoy the great music.